Okay, so the main question of the day, we want to know mediation, mediation, mediation. 5 ways in which mediation can help us as a business person or our audience as a business person than a lawsuit. Because the truth is, everybody, even without being a lawyer, people know that. People just know that if they've been wronged or there's a breach of contract or something happened, they get that lawyer and you go straight up to court, and then you expect that the court, grants, gives you judgment and gives judgment in your favor, and then you enforce. If it's monetary, you garnish the person's account and collect the money. You don't care whether the person doesn't have money, you can auction his, car, property, and then you get your money. So people just feel, oh, that's better. And loss is like, I will show you that, I can deal with you and all of that. So we want to know. We've all been used to loss. That's the truth. And probably we're still used to loss. So how can this mediation, 5 ways basically, how can it help our business than a lawsuit?
Okay, now, anybody that goes into business with the essence of doing one thing, making money. I have this saying that I like to say. I say, if it's not making money, it's not making sense. So let us first of all even understand why you are in business. Now, you see, the 21st century client has changed. They have evolved. So I'm not going to speak to. I'm not having this conversation as a lawyer. I'm not having this conversation as someone trying to push mediation. Let's have a one-on-one, ladies and gentlemen. And please stay with me. There's a method to this madness. Now, we go into business for what? To make profits. Now, let's assume Mrs. Precious here invested all her 1 million naira in the business. She has no other money apart from that 1 million naira she has invested into this business. But due to some issues and all of that, there seems to be a problem on the other side in terms of delivery. Now, this 1 million naira that Mrs. Precious has invested in the business is time bound. We now take this matter to court. You understand? And 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that case is in court. You understand? You are still on it. Now, don't forget that there is a time value to money. And I tell you right now that 5 million naira today, 5 million naira 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 20 million naira today, they have the same value. Take it from me. So don't forget that while time is going, Mrs. Precious is losing the value of money. So to answer your question, why do I think mediation is better? Look, let's just look at the present reality. Number one, the time you spend in court. Now, don't forget that time that you're going to spend in court, you're going to spend nothing less than maybe 1 or 2, and there is even no guarantee that you will even get justice. That you get judgment in your favor. Now, when you now get that judgment, there is no guarantee that they will not appeal. So this is what I ask people: the time value. So, and you're a businessman, you know time is money. So number one, mediation saves time, because if all parties are willing to settle and have that conversation in in a month, you can resolve a dispute. In a month, because what are you really saying? You sit down, you probably have the first session, the second session, and all of that. And look, when you save money, when you save time, automatically you save money. So that's the second quality, you save money. Now, when you save money in the sense that if you look at the cost of litigation, look at the cost, the cost of it itself, what it does to you, that's the second one, it saves time. The third one, again, is that it preserves business relationship. When I was growing up, my dad used to say this, saying that two people don't go to court and come out as friends. You understand? And you see, the business relationship is the foundation of everything. So you cannot imagine a scenario where you're having an issue with someone. At the end of the day, you take the person to court. You now come back from court and you expect you and the person to be friends again. It doesn't work that way now. It doesn't work that way. And then again, by virtue of the multiplicity of options, mediation creates options. Let's assume, okay, fine. Using the analogy I used, Mrs. Precious is trying to get just for 1 million naira. There's so many options. You can either say, okay, fine. You can stagger the payments. You can look for something else to do. You understand? Then again, then it's also flexible. So the third one is flexibility. The fact that you can, no, so that's the fourth one. The third is that it preserves relationship. The fourth one is that it is flexible. Number one,
Please,
mediation
what's the
saves
second
time.
one? Sorry, I didn't get the second one.
First one, mediation saves time.
Okay.
Number two, it saves money.
Oh, good.
Number three, it preserves business relationship.
Okay.
Then number four, it is flexible.
Okay.
Yeah. Then number five is this. The mediation also, I'm trying to think of how to couch the next one. Then I am okay, don't worry. Let's just keep talking. I'll think of the fifth one as
Okay.
we proceed. Yeah, let's just keep talking. I'll think of the fifth one as we proceed. So next question. So I'm still
All
holding
right.
one more. I'll go back to it. Yes.
All right. So now, people generally knows that law, going to court, it's legal, and then when you get judgment, you enforce it against the person. Or I really, and people should understand what enforcement is. So we want to know: is mediation, what's the legal position of mediation? And then how enforceable is it? Can it be
So
enforceable
there
like
seems
the
to
judgment of the court and all of that?
still be this misconception about the legality or otherwise of mediation, and I don't know where people got that misconception that mediation is not binding from. I would really like to have a conversation with that person. You know what cheap wine he was what cheap wine he was drinking when he made that. Now, the end product of any mediation, any successful mediation agreement is a contract. Everything, whatever it is you say, will be put down in writing as an agreement. Now that agreement itself is a contract. That contract
Which
is
is legal
binding,
and enforceable.
which is legal and is enforceable. So when you say mediation is flexible, the only thing that is flexible about mediation is the process, the fact that it is voluntary, the fact that that you cannot force people to come to mediation. But the moment parties enter into settlement agreement, wherein they have an agreement, it automatically becomes a contract. Now that contract is binding, that contract is enforceable. Now let's even assume we now decide to take that contract a step further by endorsing that contract as a consent judgment. What a consent judgment means is that you're not going through the legal, you're not going through litigation from beginning to the end. The judge has looked at the settlement agreement and asked you, are you okay with this? You say yes. Ask the other party, are you okay with it? The party says yes. The court now endorses it as a judgment. Please, is that not so? Invariably, once there's a breach, it is the same process that it will have. So whenever that conversation comes up, I ask them, wait, hold on, is an agreement not a contract? So if you agree that an agreement is a contract, and you agree that the contract is binding, so what are we talking about? So you see,
All right.
so that's my response to it.
Thank
Yes.
you so much. So, in summary on that question, mediation is legal, is legit, and it is extremely 100% binding on
All
the
the way.
parties that
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. That no, no, no. A mediation, when entered into when executed or when entered into writing, you understand? Yes, it's binding. But the entire process of mediation, vis-a-vis voluntariness and flexibility, is not binding. But same thing. Now this is where I try to make people understand something. The process of anything is not binding. Even the litigation that we're talking about, by the time you file an action in court and do all of that and everything, it's a process. Until you get to the end product of a judgment. What are we talking about? The only thing that makes it is just that there's an element of compulsion, wherein if you file an action against someone and they compel you to come, you must come. But the process of it until you get to a judgment for litigation or an arbitral award for arbitration, it's also not binding. So what are we talking about? So why is that misconceived notion that everything about mediation is not binding? So sometimes and when I have conversations like this, I try not to talk like a lawyer. I try to speak in English. And if you notice, I'm not using all those legalistic verbose words that we use. I'm trying to make sense. That look, sit down. Let's have this conversation. Uncle, you have this matter down that you're shouting all about and everything. Don't you think that if you sit down and have a conversation about this, don't you think it's better than being in court for years without end? So I'm a businessman, and I'm an unapologetic businessman first before a lawyer, and I know the time value of money. So why do we need to do this? And what I tell people is this about the steps to mediation is that there is no law that says that you must settle. But what do you have to lose when you give the process a chance?
Don't settle.
Exactly. What do you have to lose? What if all the parties are there and willing to speak and all of that? It's a session that cannot even take more than 1 month. That 1 month, can you compare 1 month to 3 years you're going to spend in court? So what do you have to lose? You have absolutely nothing to lose. Yes.
All right. In fact, just to buttress what you have said, I think about I think July, there was this client that just came in and he had a little bit of issue with the landlord, and the landlord decided to, sue as an unknown person because she's like a stop tenant. So when I was contacted for the matter, and she didn't even know the way Nigerian whole system worked, she came from the UK. And then when I was contacted, and we went in for the first day. This was July. Went in the first day, and I told her we're going to file to come in properly to be joining the matter. So after the sitting, I just called the counsel on the other hand, and I said, "Counsel, see, we can be in court for as long as for this matter." I said, I was like, for the main fact that I'm coming for us to see possible, let us mediate over this matter. Doesn't mean that I can't dice my onions. So, and that if it's litigation, we'll go all out. But I said, see, what does your client want? He said possession. Beautiful. So my client also wants to leave, but she needs time to leave the premises. So let us have an agreement. Let us go back and meet your clients. I will send a proposal for you, like proposal of terms of settlement. Let's settle this thing. My client is willing to leave February next year. Latest, okay, as at the time when we got to court was about September ending. My client will leave September ending. Just give her that 6 months later. So I sent in the proposal. They did not even, they didn't even look at it. They just sent me a letter that they are not interested. The matter is in court. Let us be. I said, "Oh, good. Let's proceed." So I'm just talking about the time saving and all of that. So at the time we got there, the magistrate was like telling the other counsel that dragged us to court that this other counsel said that they're interested in amicable settlements. Have you guys not discussed? And she just said, we've discussed, but the terms and conditions are not okay with them. They rather go on with the suit because it was adjourned for trial. By the time I came in, I did joinder. We were granted joinder. I've done a PO now. We are yet to hear the PO. PO will be heard on 30th November. That is if court even sits. So after the PO will be heard, they will give date in ruling. And I know after that ruling will be like January before we do trial. And I was like, we said we will leave in February. And on the 30th, we're just going to be hearing PO that I brought up. So people don't understand, what is in your point, that mediation saves you time. It saves you a whole lot. And if we had, talking about mediation being binding, if we had agreed, that terms of settlement, yes, it's in the court, but it's mediation process we used to, mediate. And we sign the terms of settlement, and the court endorses it, and that ends the matter. And all we need to come back is to report whether the client has left the premises or not. So I totally agree with you when you say mediation is binding, it saves time, and it saves you a whole lot of stress. So we'll go to the next question. What should business owners and entrepreneurs look out for when dispute arises in transaction? Because, like you said, a lawyer would look at a situation like, oh no, my client is right. Oh, you shouldn't have done this. You have a right. Let us go to court. Let us do this. Let us do that. So as a business person, what would be your advice to business people that what exactly disputes are inevitable in every relationship. We all know that. But what exactly should business owners look out for when these disputes arise or
The
come
first
to?
question is what exactly? The first question is the issue of interest. What exactly do you want? That's the thing. The first question you should ask yourself: what exactly do you want? Do you want to have this issue resolved amicably, or what exactly do you want? If you want, and even if you want the issue resolved amicably, how disposed are you to some level of concessions? And you know the funny thing, in defense of our learned of our learned colleagues, I always say this here: people will do the best with what they can. If they know better, they will act better. Like I said, if I
Yeah,
did not accidentally stumble upon mediation, I probably would not have known any other way apart from this way. Because this
litigation.
look exactly. I was taught to be a gladiator. So mediation was just something I accidentally stumbled upon. And the elephant in the room, as far as mediation is concerned with lawyers, is that they are yet to understand the process of making money from mediation. Because you see, because mediation is essentially party driven, the power really lies in the hands of the parties to resolve disputes on their own. So it behoves on clients to ask themselves this question: what exactly do you want? And how willing are you to make concessions on whatever it is you want? And now, when we look at our present reality right now, where you have cases in court for years without end, and the rate at which
Honest.
the rate at which the naira devaluation is going on, my sister, you see, whatever you want to do to settle now, I always advise people: just settle, because you see, time is money. Time is money. You cannot put a value on time. You can't. And you know the way this thing works is that litigation is like boxing. You know,
Yeah,
both of us go into the ring because we both believe we have a good case. You did it, you did
exactly.
not do it. You know, so if so it's a case of how do they say, let me know my last. You understand? And uh, uh, and when I say it's a case of, hold on, yeah, when I say it's a case of let me know my last,
There's a
what that,
sound somewhere. There's a
yeah,
sound somewhere.
yes, it stopped. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
better.
And you know the way litigation is like this, it's all or none. You know, you come in, you come in with something, is either the court grants it or the court does not grant it for you. So is it not better you have a control of the process? And I tell people one thing: you see disputes that disputes. I'm back. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello.
It's better. Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, look, dispute is an essential element of life. It is not going anywhere anytime soon. Husbands fight with their wives. Your teeth fight with your tongue. Your cheeks fight with your teeth. You understand? So it's just the way. So it's an essential element of life. So when you put the concept of dispute in proper perspective, it makes life easy. So it's not, and even when disputes arise, what does dispute teach you? It teaches you how to understand and do things better. So it should not be seen as one big deal. So I think aside from clients asking themselves, business owners asking themselves what exactly they want, having an understanding of interest, they should also try and put dispute in proper perspective. That's my response to it.
Okay, so before I ask the last question, I'm going to ask this questions that just came to my head now. So in all of this, we're talking about mediation. Are you in any way saying there's no need to go to court? The court should just be closed. Let everybody face mediation. Or are you saying that even in the phase of mediation, the court still has its place? So that we won't
So
get it twisted. People will not,
no,
have a
but
misunderstanding. Oh, since
I've always said that the essence of mediation is not to supplant litigation. It is to supplement. You don't see it. That's the thing. All I'm advocating for is that, look, before you go at fisticuffs and at loggerheads with the other party, try and see whether you can at least have the issue resolved. You see, it doesn't make any sense because you really sometimes it might just be a breakdown in communication. Nobody's saying don't go to court. Nobody's saying don't go. At least try and see. What do you have to lose? And even if you look at the whole arena of ADR, the way I said it, we have negotiation, we have mediation, we have arbitration. Why, rather than you just jumping into mediation like that, why don't you first of all explore negotiation? Negotiation is when you want to have a conversation with the person. But if you feel the issues are too serious for you to have a conversation with the person, why don't you first of all try and bring in somebody that is disassociated from the issue in contention? So that's basically all I'm saying. First of all, have a conversation. If it doesn't work out right, then you go to court and fight. You understand? But don't do one before you do the other. That's it.
Don't just go and fight first when you can actually settle before you.
Exactly. That's all. That's all. And like I always say, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Yeah.
So in other words, if and where mediation fails, you can always go back to resort to court.
Exactly. Same thing with the ADR process. If negotiation fails, you go to mediation. If mediation fails, you go to arbitration. You understand? So I'm not one of those people that will say mediation is all in all, because really and truly there are some issues mediation cannot solve. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even though some people believe, like now, the issue of murder. How do you compensate somebody that has died? You understand? Mediation is not solve murder. Somebody who has been raped, mediation, what can mediation do on that? Of course, we have another element of mediation or of restorative justice called the victim offender mediation that takes care of misdemeanors and whatnot. But there are some serious previous cases like terrorism. You understand? Somebody goes, so how and where so would you want to mediate those kind of issues? So I think it's really very important to put all these things in proper contention. But when somebody is owing you money, you understand, it's commercial. Let us sit down, let us talk about it. Look at the scenario you gave about landlord and recovery premises. For me, if you ask me, I don't think any recovery premises should even go to court at all. It's not discussion, because really and truly, like I said, the most important thing is, what do you want? Most times, the landlord wants possession and rent and unpaid rent. Most times, what the tenant wants is the concession of the rent is owing, the rent is owing, and time for him to leave. Of course, you have other ancillary issues and all that. So, would it not all go well when you sit down and have a conversation with the person and both of you agree on terms? Or debt recovery when somebody is owing you money? When you're owing somebody money, divided into two parts, you have the principal and you have the interest. One is the constant, the principal is the constant. If I borrow 1 million naira from you, you must pay back my 1 million naira. The variable is the interest on the principal. I do not think that you can actually sit down and negotiate upon. So what I'm talking about, you see? So that's it. So when all of this fails, then you can now decide to go towards either arbitration or litigation. That's it.
All right, thank you so much. So before I take my last question, there's a training, I know there's a training that your academy is putting up. I think it's coming up next week. So can you just enlighten us more about the trainings for those that may be interested in it?
Okay, thank you so much for this. So I'll be training lawyers on mediation and emotional intelligence, which I call a lawyer's secret code. You see, a lot of lawyers don't understand the gold mine they are sitting on as far as mediation is concerned. You see, the 21st century client is evolving. Back in the days, you would go to court and carry all these big law books and all that. It is no longer about effort and our wig and gown. Now, the 21st century client is not about efforts. It's about results. That's what he wants. He wants results. And he does not want you to come and tell him that it is not his fault. It's not your fault. That is the Lord is cost. No. You see, the 21st century client understands that time is money, and that every second you waste in there is costing him money. And I tell lawyers one thing. You see, somebody said that lawyers, their profit is they make money because they benefit from the misfortune of people. Which, well, I don't know whether that is true or not, but I'll let you hang. In the sense that if you don't have a problem, you might probably not go towards litigation. So what that essentially means is that, you understand? Yeah, that's the misconception they have. So what that essentially means is that what you pay as rent, sorry, what you pay as professional fees to a client is a loss to them. Is a loss to them. So they try to see how they can maximize it. So the essence of that training, three things. Number one is that lawyers don't understand how to make money from mediation. So the training will teach lawyers how to make money from mediation. The training will teach lawyers how to start and grow a successful practice in mediation. And then again, emotional intelligence. You see, we are all mostly emotional creatures. You understand? So you should be able to read and understand situations. And some lawyers don't even know that mediation is like playing chess. You understand? If you don't know the right things to say and the right things to do at a mediation session, you are going to just bungle it. So that is also one of the things I'm going to be talking about. And also how to bill. So now, this is the first and only class I'll be having for lawyers. Because like I said, what we do basically is that we are client driven. So this is the only class I'm going to be having teaching lawyers on how to make money from mediation. Subsequent classes, we are going to be focusing on the end users. So that's what, and because emotional intelligence is not something that people talk about that often. So I'm giving lawyers a cocktail of mediation and emotional intelligence. And like I said to you, said when I started, I'm a businessman, true and true. I'm not teaching it. I'm not teaching. I don't lie about it. I'm a businessman, true and true. You understand? So because I understand that lawyers don't understand, they don't see the benefit, they don't know how to make money from mediation. So it's just basically shine their eyes to teach them what and what they should do and not to. Yes, thank you.
All right. So in case you are a lawyer, before I take my last question, you better pay for that course. I'm paying for my own immediately after this live chat, because I also have paid. I don't know why I keep thank God for this live session. So I'm paying for my own tonight, and I will send my payment details to Oga. It's just 100,000 naira. Pere, at least as a lawyer, from January till November. That one is just appearance fee for some of you online. Just appearance fee, 100K. So you had better go and pay for your training, because I am paying for my training. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Fola. The last question.
Thank you so much.
What would be your general advice to business owners and with the partners, with the clients, with the customers when they have a dispute? What is your general advice when it comes to that and mediation generally?
Well, first things first, I'll tell everyone to first of all try and understand the concept of resolving disputes. Let's not even use the generic word mediation now. You understand? Try and first of all put the concept of disputes in a proper perspective. That dispute is an essential element of life. That's the first thing I'm going to tell them. So when disputes arise, don't be in a haste to try and always get legal representation and all of that. Try and see whether you can resolve that dispute on your own. That's number one. And I'll tell people one thing, you see, the world is evolving. Conflict disputes are also evolving. And because of the difference in human capacity and capabilities, you would always have issues that abound. So rather than always trying to run to court to find the dispute and all that, try and get a proactive lawyer. You understand? Somebody like yourself that understands the time value of money and can essentially guide you. Just like I said, it's always about results. It's always about results. And like I keep saying, time is money. So my advice to clients is this: time is money. So my advice to them is this: do not be in a haste to run to court. Try and see whether you can have those issues resolved amicably. And I'll tell you one thing for free. Today is the 20th of November 2021. Mediation is the future. I'm telling you, it is the future. It is the future, because you see, when issues are bound, and as they will, you want to have those issues resolved expeditiously, and you want to move on to something else. It is the future. The era of being in court for years without end and all of that. And that was why when COVID struck, it was easy for mediation to go. It was easy for mediation to go online. Because of the flexibility and all of that. but the litigation kind of struggled a bit. They tried to see whether they could do online, but right now things are back to normal again. And right now that everything is going online, ODR and everything, the beauty about mediation is I can be here in Nigeria, even if my client is not in Nigeria, is in Canada, we can actually have the issue resolved. And if the other person is in Kuala Lumpur, amongst the three of us, we can draft the agreement. The issue of jurisdiction and all those kind of things. See, so it's because it is not so technical. The possibility of it moving faster is better. So, like I always say, it is the future. It is the future, and the sooner people get on the bandwagon of it, the better for them.
All right, thank you so much. I am just so happy that we could have this conversation, because I've also learned so much myself. So before we take questions that has been dropped in the comment section, I must read our guest profile. So let me start. Hey, okay, Fola Alade is in Notary Public and an accredited attorney mediator based in Lagos. He is the founder, principal partner at Fotefa. I hope I got that. Fotefa Partners LP, Mediators and Mediation Advocate, a bespoke mediation firm in Nigeria. Fola Alade is a fellow World Mediation Organization, mediator of the Global Mediation Panel at the Office of Ombudsman for United Nations Funds and Programs, a certified mediation advocate with the Standing Conference of Mediation Advocates UK, a trained mediator on the panel of neutrals of the Federal High Court, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, Edo State Multi-Door Courthouse, Lagos Court of Arbitration, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and International Arbitration Center, a trained negotiator from the Lagos Business School. I'm purposely reading this so that people can know who is training us this week. It said, like people say on social media, follow person where no road. A certified emotional intelligence specialist and a certified trainer international award in delivering training IADT UK with the London Professional Training Center. He is the founder principal of Fotefa Mediation Academy, another bespoke mediation training academy where he trains on the business and practice of mediation. He's also the executive director of the competent trustee of Mediation Attorney Mediators Associates, ATMA, a consultant, facilitator, trainer with the Standing Conference of Mediation Advocates, Nigeria branch. Better worker, what's this?
Cosmopolitan.
I didn't even say, okay, I think there was a line there. Cosmopolitan Partners Limited, AU, Corab Legal Research Firm, Legally Engaged Academy, and the Resource Headquarters Limited, where he trains on negotiation, mediation advocacy, workplace conflict, and emotional intelligence. And finally, Fola was called to the Nigerian bar in 2007. Where was I in 2007? I was still reading law in Unilag. After obtaining his LLB honors degree from the University of Lagos in 2006, that was when I entered Unilag. He is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association and the section on business law, Lagos Court of Arbitration, and a partner member with the NCMG International, that is Negotiation and Conflict Management Group International. He is a native speaker of Yoruba and fluent in English and Pidgin. Mr. Fola, you did not even include your private life now. We don't even know whether you are married or you are single or you're searching.
Okay,
or you are
I'm married. Yeah, I'm married with 2 kids. I got 2 kids, daughters.
Just
yes.
in case, now that we know there's no in case. Thank you so much. Let me just quickly take, I'm going to take, because of time, I'm going to take,
because I need to go.
I'm just going to take one question so that we just, we won't just, we told them to drop questions in the comment section, and just one question, please. And every other question, please, you can go to his DM.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, don't worry. I can make it 3. I'll take 3 before I go.
Okay, so I'm trying to be careful, because the way I'm trying to check the questions, I might just mistakenly end the live chat. I don't know if you can see any from your end.
Yeah, there's a question by Lizzie Sunshine. She says that how do
Okay.
you handle a difficult mediation session, and what's the longest time you have had to resolve an issue? Okay, the longest I've had to do is 6 months. Hello? The longest I've had to
Yeah.
spend on a case is 6 months. And the only reason why was because of the constant back and forth, because I was dealing with two multinationals. So for every step we had to take, they had to go back to seek approval. So essentially, you see, the truth about resolving a difficult situation has to do with the willingness of the parties has to do with the willingness of the parties. If the parties they are willing to give it a chance, trust me, it's always very easy. So, and for me, yeah, my own strength is emotional intelligence. That's what I use in resolving disputes. I see people, I understand their body language, I understand what they say and what they are not saying. So I try to infuse that into it, and I guess my greatest strength again is even telling them that look, it's not a matter of compulsion people must settle, but at least you must leave this session with an understanding of your own case. And I think that's one mistake most mediators to make. They're always so pushful, wanting people to settle. I don't push you to settle. I just say let's have a conversation about this. Let's try and let me try and let's look at what is possible, what the root cause of this dispute is. Let's lay everything down, and then we'll find a meeting point for it. So that's basically what I do. And I think I've been able to answer Lizzie's
Yeah.
question. Then,
Okay.
yeah, then what else again? Okay, somebody said married with two beautiful kids. Yes, thank you. Lizzie, yes,
Why
married with two
can't
beautiful
people say?
girls. Yes, sir. Then, okay, Mrs. Fatoki, thanks for joining. Lizzie, thanks for joining. Then, I think that's pretty much all the question I can see.
Yeah, I saw one on
Yeah,
negotiation and mediation. I really don't think there's need to emphasize on that because you've broken it down.
yeah,
You start to
yeah.
them
I
with
can see
installments.
Dara. Dara, I'm outside, though. In case you want to come and join me, I'm outside. Then there's Bumi. Yeah, there's Bumi. Yeah, let's have a private conversation. Then there's Bumi Onita. Yeah, so that's basically all there is. Yeah.
All right, thank you
Okay,
so
then.
much for joining. Yeah, that will be the end of this tonight's conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I'm so sorry that I came in late. You don't like me, Mr. Fola. Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
most welcome, Precious.
the time and the knowledge that you have imparted. And lawyers, go pay for your emotional intelligence training with Mr. Fola. I think 22nd is Tuesday. It's starting
20,
on
no,
the 22nd,
27,
right?
27. No, it's 27.
Oh,
Saturday, next Saturday.
oh, we still have time now. Please, people still have time, but if you have the money, Christmas is coming, so that you will spend the money. Thank you so much. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week. Next week Saturday is question and answer with me, so no featuring till upper to next month. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Mr. Kodadan, enjoy your
Goodbye.
party.
Bye. You can see, I think we're wearing almost the
Bye.
same thing, yellow and black, yellow and black. Can you see that?
In
You and I.
fact, I almost. Good
Take
night.
care.
Thank you
Good
so much.
night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Good night.